Well, good morning to you. Uh, I was recently asked to talk more about being a loser and to comment on losers. And this was brought up again to me. Why is it that I focus on losers so much instead of winners? And I think honestly, a lot of times we hear too much about winners and we get sick and tired of being beaten over the head with how great they are. Often they are the exception to the rule. They're one out of a billion people. They're a winner, like hitting the lottery ticket. And they're not a good example sometimes, quite often, to keep ramming Jeff Bezos' face into your life and why you're not achieving and why you're not a hero and why can't you be more like Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg and drop out of college and become a billionaire tonight. Um, so it's with great appreciation that I mention I carry around a bunch of losers in my pocket every day, and I carry a lot of things in here in this tattered little pieces of papers, and yeah, one of them is a real loser, and he's right here. In fact, his name is Jack Ma. And this is so that I can remind myself or talk about him being such a tremendous failure and loser on earth and in human history. Today, he is a very noted Chinese billionaire, but Jack often said, I failed 3 times in college. How do you like that? Going to college and being the laughing stock of your family as a disgrace. I applied 30 times to get a job, but was always rejected. When Kentucky Fried Chicken came to China for the first time, there were 24 people that applied, and I was the only one out of 24 who was dismissed. The other 23 were picked up immediately. What other indications do you need to know that you actually are a loser and to give up? I tried to join the police, but the only one not accepted, it was me, Jack Ma, again. Okay? I applied 10 times to Harvard University in America and was rejected 10 times. Okay? Jack Ma, of course, is the creator of Alibaba and the 22nd world's richest person. He goes up and down on the fortune list every year. Sometimes it's 25, 28, 21. And on the Forbes 2015 list, he was worth 29.8 billion for his net worth. So if that gives you any indication as to why I focus on losers, being a loser myself, maybe that will help some of you out there who are doubting who you are and what you can accomplish. Because honestly, I'm tired of hearing it. Here's a couple more for you. Sir Richard Branson, I think many of you know him from Virgin. He had a massive distaste for formal schooling. A lot of people don't know that Richard is dyslexic or that he left school at the age of 16. John D. Rockefeller, also very interesting to see. The need for no education was something that he felt was too limiting for him. He saw no need for formal education. He often mentioned, it has a lot of limits. Okay, so I think a lot of you know John D. Rockefeller and of course Sir Richard Branson. But how about Charles Darwin? Has anyone heard of this male human? His name was Darwin. He was described by his teachers as quite disadvantaged, and they marked him as an average student. Okay, average. Very interesting. Charles Dickens. Has anyone ever heard of Charles Dickens? He walked out of school. He left school at 12 years old. Okay, if you have heard of any of these names of these people. Sir Isaac Newton. He missed formal schooling as his mom actually removed him from school to work on the farm instead, to work the land. He was taken out of school. Okay, Sir Isaac Newton. Ray Kroc. A lot of you know him from inventing McDonald's and taking the two brothers McDonald's ideas to the world market. and turning it into an international McDonald's phenomenon, which today is still going on and on and on all over the earth to 205 countries. Ray actually dropped out of school at the age of 15. Okay, so quite interesting to see the truth. Kate Moss, many of you may know of Kate Moss, dropped out of school at the age of 14. Okay. Johnny Depp, I think a lot of you out there have heard of Johnny Depp, the famous actor, also left school at the age of 14. And Houdini, a very famous magician. I think a lot of people know these names on earth of people like the magician Houdini. He actually disappeared, no pun intended, from school at the age of 12. Has anyone ever heard of another gentleman? His name was Albert Einstein. He was considered by his teachers as mentally retarded. That's how they referred to him, and that's how they wrote about him. Albert Einstein was considered to be mentally retarded, okay? And disliked the restraints of schooling. He did not really feel as though it was for him. Of course, you know, when a child says that, they could often be beaten, slapped, or whipped, or severely disciplined with intense ripping, you know, verbal ripping from the parents and teachers. How dare you, as a punk snot-nose, mention that you find school to be very limiting, okay? Excuse us. Yes, that's often the case. As Sir Elton John left school at 16. And did you know that Simon Cowell scored a 0 twice on his major exams? I hope that these great examples of losers who were considered by society to be a joke are somewhat helpful to you out there if you're listening to this. Okay, I'm not actually doing the video any longer, speaking to any kind of international audience. I'm actually shifting it and just wanting to speak with you now, okay? And Aristotle Onassis, of course, Aristotle, as many of you know, was a very famous billionaire. But if you went over to the house for the holidays, for, you know, Orthodox Christmas, you were often reminded, don't bring anything up about how Ari's doing in high school, or what colleges is he looking at, or has he thought about any degrees. It's a very negative conversation. It causes a lot of pain in the family. He's not doing well in high school. Okay, so just leave that whole subject and what our kids are doing and other kids are going to, just don't bring it up. Okay, it's literally that bad. This is the guy who went on to leave Greece and went to live in South America and learned how to speak, you know, several languages there, and actually worked blue-collar work, you know, up on a line doing the telephone poles and the wiring. And that's when he started listening in on conversations in another language and was finding out information. And, you know, he would use this to his advantage about things were happening. He actually became very famous by selling cigarettes. And then he was smart. He said, you know, I'm going to get the biggest star here in South America on stage and film and have her actually be my spokeslady for the cigarettes. And that did really well, making him millions of dollars. You know, what really pissed him off was the cost of shipping to get the raw ingredients and the things that he needed to make the cigarettes. That's when he said, I'm going to go on ahead and just purchase my own ship. I am so tired of paying these exorbitant rates, and he bought his first ship. And once he had a ship, he then realized, well, wow, these shippers make a lot of money shipping oil. And that's when he went into shipping oil. So quickly, he changed very nimbly with the times and things that he saw as opportunities. But considered quite a disgrace and failure within his family, Aristotle Onassis. How about Thomas Edison? Can you believe that his teachers claimed he was too stupid to learn anything? Thomas Edison, the person who invented so many things on earth that we have today and illuminated the human race to where we didn't have to use candles anymore. Considered to be too stupid, and I do quote, considered to be too stupid to learn anything, okay? The list goes on with Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. Also, Walt Disney left school at the age of 16. walked out of school and joined the army illegally. Okay? And the last person I would mention is Michael Dell, is dyslexic from Dell Computers. So I hope that these several dozen examples for you today might give a person pause the next time we're talking about somebody being an idiot or a stupid or illiterate, or that kid isn't doing good in school, and we can go on ahead and run him down a flight of steps when we're visiting at their house, and we'll walk around because our child is brilliant and doing fantastic with grades. We'll run our cousin with their child down a flight of steps and make fun of him, okay, and give them a hard time. And when we bring up our kid, it'll be nothing but how proud we are and everything, okay? How about this? How about stop doing that and realize what the truth of some of the most brilliant billionaires on earth is? And think about that. And think about that as far as yourself, if you're doubting yourself and what you're capable of doing. We have seen 90-year-olds here where I live get their degree at college, okay, at the age of 99. It was featured on the front page of the newspapers. And I want to wish you a fantastic Halloween. I know it's coming up here this weekend, and then of course Thanksgiving and Diwali, and we have so many holidays. We just finished celebrating, of course, Muhammad's birthday was earlier this month. And then we have 2 Christmases coming up after the American Thanksgiving. We have Kwanzaa, we have Hanukkah, and we have 2 New Years, at least 2 New Years with Chinese New Year, February 1st. So let's be happy for the next couple of months. We have so many fun holidays. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one.